Hello all DSC leads. How are you doing? I know it's been almost 2 long days for you, but I really hope you all are enjoying and learning something. Are you? Yes. Are you? Yes. Great. I have a very limited time, so I wouldn't go in details of my introduction, but those who do not know me, I'm Lalit Singh. I work with Google India Developer Training and India Skilling team as a training specialist. Today, I will be talking about a non-technical talk, that is how to deliver effective workshop. Now, this is gonna be more like something which you have been already doing, and most of the part you already know about it. It's just that we generally not like to practice it in our daily presentation or daily effective sessions. So I'm gonna talk about those key points today. How many of you are feeling sleepy? Great. I'm not going to ask you to stand up. So let's just get started with it. So the agenda here will going to be, I will be talking about why introduction is important, Then I have kind of devised a process. I mean, whatever I'm going to share today, I'm going to share my own experience with the 5 years venture I have in education and training industry. So again, the different kind of experience for different people. So this is my experience, and if something works for you, that's great, right? And then after talking those three processes, we will also talk about a few techniques of delivering the effective trainings, and then what are the key points of an effective trainer. So let's just talk about introduction. Now, as Naveen earlier mentioned, you can get the content, all the content in the world. And generally, when we deliver a workshop, we are all worried about, okay, what's going to be the content, what exactly I'm going to be, delivering and all. We hardly pay attention to the introduction. You have seen today tech talks, Amrit, Manoranjan, and, Johan. Did you notice one thing? They all talked before their talks. They gave a very solid introduction, right? They told you about what exactly they do, who they are. Right? It shouldn't be a long introduction that will bore the people. It should be crisp, it should be informative, and at the same time, it should connect with people. Especially from a tech background, especially if you have a tech audience, you kind of need to set the tone and context from where exactly you are coming from, and the kind of technology you're going to present, how much experience you have in that. Right? So that people will be able to connect you, and it creates a relationship, It's kind of create a relationship, and I will talk about the kind of relationship we should set up in our sessions. I generally do as a friendly relation, why it is healthy. Next, so as I told you, I could have gone ahead and created a simple deck and put all the points together, but I kind of put this whole thing in a three-way process, and that three-way process comes at the learning process, then lesson planning, how you plan your lessons and preparation, and then performance skills. How do you judge? What is the metrics to actually tell that whether you are an effective trainer or whether your session is going effectively or not? Okay? Shall we start? Great. So learning process. Why learning process? I mean, you must be thinking, I'm a trainer, I just need to deliver the content, or I'm a speaker or an orator, right? I just need to say what I need to say. Why exactly it is important for me? Well, you should, to whom you are delivering to the participants, right? You should put yourself in their shoes, how exactly they feel about the content or the delivery. Then you will be able to understand, and then you will be able to deliver better. So first thing, what is learning, and how exactly people learn? So there is 3 things. You acquire knowledge. This is again a process. First, you acquire knowledge, all the relevant knowledge. You watch videos, you go to the different resources, audios. You have all the knowledge. Then you think about it. If you have a problem, you start putting that knowledge into your own problem. Start making, mind maps. Now, generally, we stop there. And that's not a complete learning. To have a complete learning, you should do the third thing, that is called practicing. Let me give you a small example. I am recently learning how to drive car, so don't judge me, right? So, to drive a car, I know that there is a steering wheel, then there is this gear, and then A, B, C. So that's how he's teaching me. A means accelerator, B means brake, C means clutch. So now I have knowledge what exactly steering does, what exactly all those A, B, C does, and what exactly gear does. Now, before driving that particular machine, what I need to do, I need to actually imagine in my mind also what if I put in first gear and then, clutch and accelerator, throttle the accelerator and leave the clutch, very, very slowly, then only the car gonna move, isn't it? And let's say there is a wall in front of me, then I have to do the reverse gear. And if I want to hit the wall, just throttle, right, with the first. So, because I have picture in my mind, now I will learn how to drive a car by doing it, not just creating the mind map, right? So that's the process of actual complete learning. Now, there are few factors which affect the learning of our learners, especially your participant when they are. Are they motivated enough for your session? Is that the same session? Is that the right audience, right? And then the access of resources and the time constraints. And the kind of relation which I was talking about. I generally, whenever I'm delivering my trainings, I generally create a friendly relationship. If I kind of create teacher and student relationship, what happens in that is, okay, you are still delivering your content, but the problem is student might not be frank enough to ask questions. There will be people who will be more conservative, and by the kind of relationship you have created, you are making them more conservative with that, right? Create a friendly decorum so that there will, because when you are teaching a friend, there is much more learning. You are free to ask questions and all. And what kind of knowledge your participants are already coming from. Let's say you are delivering a session and they already have a knowledge of that particular topic. You might not have to start from scratch, right? So you have to check out the kind of knowledge they have already of that session. And the learner's expectation. What kind of expectation they are coming to get from, or what exactly they are expecting to get from your session. Are you setting that expectation right or not, right? Are you able to complete that? To make learning much more efficient, you should always touch the senses. When I say senses, it's video, audio, like a video or a podcast, right? Which directly touch your senses, right? It will have much more impact. And recognize your learning curve. We have been talking about this, even there was this leadership training yesterday where he mentioned that you should know when to stop, right? So when we say learning curve, what exactly I mean by that is, whenever you start a new topic, there is always a very progressive growth at the starting. And once you learn that particular topic, that's it. You can't really learn anything new until unless there is no updates. So how do you make much more out of it? Well, apply that particular concept and in a real problem and use it in a different way. That's the only way to actually experiment with that until unless there is no updates, right? Recognize that there is a learning curve for each and everything. And do not abuse the attention span. What do I mean by that? If there is a methodology which is already working for you, you are able to get the attention of the people, do not change it. Do not keep changing it again and again. What happens is, if they are already paying attention to you, then you switch it to a different methodology. You have already lost the audience. Try to motivate them and accommodate with different learning styles. When I say learning style, there are basically three: video, audio, and then kinesthetic. When I say kinesthetic means practice, actual practical, okay? Give them, I will discuss further in my slide. There is 70% of learning is being done by the practicals or demonstration. We'll discuss more about that. And if you want to check whether the learning has been complete or not, always say feedback, right? Understand? So now we know that what are the factors and what are the principal, learning, how exactly learning get affected. Let's just talk about how should you plan your lessons and what kind of preparation you should do. So whenever you are delivering a course or a particular talk or a particular session, always set the objectives. Always tell these are the objectives, this is what we're going to cover, right? Then deliver the content in the best way you can. Then approach or use one of the instructional methods. There are plenty amount of instructional methods, and we're going to discuss few of those in a bit. And provide the resources. Just don't leave them hanging by presenting the slide and just few textbooks and all. If you have more additional resources for that, provide them so that they can go ahead and research further on that. And again, I'm focusing on this. If you want to check whether the learning has been done or not, assess the learning. kind of give them the project at the end or some kind of quiz so that you would be able to know whether they have actually learned or not. I was talking about instructional methods. So these are the few instructional methods which I use in my session. There are different others also, like lecturing and explaining, demonstration, asking questions, and discussion, which you must have already came across. So let's just talk about lecturing and explaining first. So lecturing and explaining, which you have been all doing, it's kind of IELTS mode training. You all have done your pilot workshop. Is there anybody who haven't done his pilot workshop? Great. So we know what we need to do here. We take a topic, we kind of explain what's the concept of it, right? And when you are doing lecturing, put out the clear statement, an easy statement, and give the real life example as much as possible and try to link topics with that real life examples, right? Second, make sure the content you're going to deliver is well organized. See, it's not like that they cannot find the resources. There is internet now. There is all sorts of videos, resources available. The reason they are coming to you is because a topic which will take 2 hours for them to understand, you can make them understand within 15 minutes, right? So if your content is organized well enough, they do not have to spend that much of time, right? And your presentation, while we are, especially this becomes really important when you are doing a professional session, your presentation should be clear and very simple. We try to put colors and those and the, it becomes like a, I don't know, it doesn't really look professional, right? And use well-aided, or you should say teaching learnings aid. So what are teaching learnings aid? This is one of the aids which I'm using right now. That is slides, right? You can use videos, audios, and handouts. At the end of the session, you can pass the handouts that these or the resources, right? Second way, demonstration. While 30% of the learning is being done mostly by the lecturing and all, 70% of the learning, actual learning, is being done with the help of demonstration. Always use practicals, especially in our work of line. If you can make practical for each and every concept, that would be great. Now, while you are presenting or doing the practicals, make sure that you have prepared your labs before you start the demonstration. Check out each and every PCs and hardware and all. And try to break down the practicals in simpler steps so that even a novice programmer who is doing it for the very first time would be able to understand, just like we had our course, right? And then adjust the speed of demonstration also, because not each and everybody will be on the same page. There will be people who will be able to finish the practical right away. There will be people who will take a little bit of slower time. Try to put it as an average speed, and you can push the slowest member with your own. Remember that you are there to help. Sometimes what happens if somebody is facing a problem, and we generally go ahead and try to help them out, and instead of asking them to actually solve the problem and just guiding them, we just go ahead and solve the problem ourselves, and he's like, okay, show off, right? We should avoid that. We are there to help them, right? And be conscious of the whole group. That's again one of the most important part while you are doing the demonstration. What we can stuck with a problem which can take hours to solve, and we are trying to solve within that particular limited of time. You should know that you should always keep track of your session and make sure that if there is a problem which is taking more time, just say that I will get back on this particular problem. And fairly allocate time between the individuals. No one should left out. Third, which I generally use, and it can be a double-edged sword, okay? Please be aware about this. But I still think that this is one of the effective ways. You can actually gauge whether your participants are actually learning or not, and what amount of learning they have done. And question can be asked from you, or your participant can ask questions, right? And choose the right type of question for your topic, which serves the purpose, what you are actually telling them. And why do I say double-edged sword? When a person is kind of answering a question, because they will only answer the question when you have that first kind of decorum created. What kind of decorum? Friendly, right? They will be participating with you. They will be involved with you. And when somebody is answering a question, and if they are wrong about it, do not embarrass them. I mean, it's okay, right? Instead of that, just highlight the correct answer, right? And don't say that, oh no, you are wrong. It can embarrass them. It can affect them. At the same time, we are not God. There will be questions which you don't know the answer of. Just be honest about it. Say, I will get back to you, or I do not know the answer of this. And when you say, I will get back to you, that doesn't mean, okay, it's been years. He has been married. He's still waiting for you. No, don't do that. Discussion is, again, a great way of instructional method. I generally do it, especially for the topics which really require great deal of attention. What I do is, after lecturing and doing the practicals, I gather around the people and ask them to discuss about that particular topic. So what I do here is determine the objectives. You will be acting as a moderator here, right? So you will be driving that particular discussion. Determine the objective and scope of that particular discussion. Prepare the key question ahead so that they will be able to discuss on those particular things. And treat all viewpoints with respect, because there will be people who will be speaking against or with the motion. Treat all viewpoints with respect, but at the end, only highlight the correct viewpoints, right? And focus on the topic, because discussion is one of the ways where people will divert from the actual content to something else, right? And always summarize at the end what we have discussed. Some of the recommendations for you before you go and deliver a lecture. Always refresh yourself with the particular subject which you are going to deliver. It might be the case that you have already delivered that particular topic or that particular technology 2 months back. Now you're going to deliver it after 2 months. If you are not going to see whether there are any updates or not, you're just going to go ahead with that two months back slides or content. You are not updating yourself. There are things have been changed. Refresh yourself. Look for additional resources for unexpected questions. Always prepare yourself for expected questions, right? Which are already expected. You know that these questions will arise. Always prepare them as thoroughly as you can. Again, I keep saying this. It's okay to say, I will get back to you. Even for me, today, if you're going to ask something which is in my expertise, and I'm telling you very frankly, I might not know the answer for each and every question. I will always say, I will get back to you. And I think this is a great learning for you as a trainer. If you do not know the answer, you have something to work on now. And always take learnings from the current workshop and apply it to the next workshop. Okay? Are you getting it? If you think that, okay, this time your confidence was kind of low, you can increase that. You think the coding was something which I need to work on that. If you think the examples are something which I need to work on that. Understand? Last, performance skills. Let's just talk about what are the different techniques or what are the different bullet points which can affect a training, which you will be generally using for effective training. Always give a start and end. Like I said, the objectives, and at the end, always give a summary. And always give real life examples, especially if you can correlate with a real life example to that particular topic, and use as much as practical when you can. And question your participants, involve your participant by questioning or by having discussions. Repeat a question before answering, because that might be the case that you have that question have been traveling for like 2 or 3 minutes in the audience. Now, before you're going to answer that, repeat that so that they can actually correlate with the context. And analyze the session as you go. You can always analyze your own session, like, okay, whether the audience is getting bored or whether the audience is, getting this, or do I need to change the example? Do I need to change the methodology? Analyze that. Encourage the participation, and at the same time, keep your session on track. So this is one of the major, challenge which a trainer can face. Like I said, always stick to a particular time limit. And if you think that the question is, again, taking too much of time of yours, always take it offline, It's not like you're not ready to answer that or you do not want to answer that. It's just that you are sticking to your agenda, and always help them out with, at the end. How many of you want to improve here? Great, everybody. So this last point is very important. Always take anonymous feedback. If you really want to improve, don't just ask them, okay, give the feedback with the name. No. Give them the feedback and they will criticize you. I didn't like this, I didn't like, and do not think that who's that guy to tell me. If you're not able to satisfy that guy, there must be something, right? If you really want to improve, so criticism is the best way to improve yourself, right? So welcome criticism in that case. What should be the preparation you should do at the day of training? Dress appropriately. Most important, arrive early. This whole thing's not gonna matter at all if you arrive like 30 minutes afterwards your participants, right? So once you arrive early, you can always check for the sitting arrangements, your labs, audio visual, all those kinds of arrangement you can check. If you're not arriving early, that's it. I mean, you have already lost the 30 minutes and you're gonna lose more time in checking all those things. What are the qualities of effective trainers? This is last, don't worry. Time is already up. I'm just gonna take a few more minutes. So what are the qualities of effective trainer? He should be a good communicator. When I say communicator, English is always gonna, of course, it's a plus additional point. But that again, that doesn't mean a good communicator. Even a local language, he's able to convey some concept really, really good. He's also a good communicator. At the same time, he should be knowledgeable. He should be well prepared. So as much as you can prepare for the sessions, that would be great. And he should be experienced, and that will happen as you keep on doing it. Flexible. Good interpersonal skills. He should be good with talking to people, and that includes patience. And this must have happened to you. Many times people asking question and you got agitated or irritated. Sit down. Or it's okay, this question is not valid and all. A good trainer has a patience. Even if it's a wrong question, it's a wrong question. That's fine. It's okay, right? And be open-minded. When I say open-minded is, let's say you have given them a solution that this is how you can, solve this problem. But that doesn't mean this is the only way. Somebody in the audience can come up with a new solution. You shouldn't, okay, no, your solution is wrong. My solution is the only best solution. Be open-minded about it. There can be multiple solutions for the same problem. And be creative. Effective trainer always think on his toes, right? So these are the few things which we learned. We learned how introduction can be important, what are the learning process, and what should we plan, or how should we plan our preparation and lessons, and then what are the different techniques. But this is not the comprehensive talk on effective trainer and all. It's just that I got very limited time, but I will be around today and tomorrow. If you guys want to talk more about it, please come to me and we will talk more about it. With that, thank you very much.